Assalamu alaikum Bokai. Welcome back to the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, the home of Gambian football. I am Chama, and it is the end of the month, which means it's time for Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month. So today, I will present to you the 4 nominees for Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month for the month of February. Yeah. Firstly, I will apologize because January there was no Player of the Month. We did not release the Player of the Month nominees for January because this was during the African Cup of Nations, guys, and it was quite tricky to decide the players. And we were so focused on the African Cup of Nations and all whatnot, so we could not really do it in the January. There were a lot of leagues on break and all what, so it was. I feel sorry for some of the players that we are doing really well in January because it was a good opportunity to be the player of the month, which of course it may not mean much, but at least it may mean some recognition from, the Gambian populace, because at the end of the day, the Gambian fans will decide who is going to be the player of the month because your votes counts who's going to be the player of the month. So it's a little thing that that we can do. But anyways, we are back and it's February. So we have some impressive performances in February rather. So we will look at those players who were very good and why we think they are worthy nominees for the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month. If you are new here to the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you enjoy what we do on the channel, please give us a thumbs up. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the nominees for February Player of the Month. Number 1. Yeah. Number 1 is going to be Yankuba Minte. Of course, Yankuba Minte. He played a lot of games during the month. He played a lot of games during the month. He played 7 games for his club. Scored a couple of goals. Won a penalty, which games included he played in the league, played in the Europa League a couple of games, and also played in the Cup. So he played 4 games in the league, played 2 games in the Europa Cup against Roma, and then also played 1 game against Groningen in the Cup last night. So 7 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. At the start of the month, he had a troubling month, without shadow of a doubt, because since he returned to the African Cup of Nations, the coach was not really giving him the time, because it was kind of the transfer window. Newcastle was there talking about finding ways to get him back to Newcastle because all what was going on. Because if you read the reports, but there was no how can I say? There was no clause where it includes him going back to Newcastle, so it was tricky. And then the final coach too, I don't know for what reason, was not playing Yankuba Minte regularly. He was not starting him. He was taking him off, putting him on the bench and bringing him for late games or late on games and all whatnot. He was not, he did not have the rhythm that he had at the earlier stage of the season. That was the thing I would say. But he ended the month with exceptional form. That is what you do, right? That is what you do as a footballer. You lose your place in the team. When you have the small opportunities, you take them, you grab them with both hands, and that is exactly what this kid did. In the weekend, Feyenoord were playing in the league. In the league, they were drawing 0-0, and then Yankuba Minte was substituted on in the second half. He came on and scored a couple of goals, exceptional goals, won the man of the match in that game. And then what next? The next game comes, the coach started him, of course, because of the impact he had off the bench. He did not let that disappointment of losing his place in the team, affect him. He just put his foot on the ground and then do what he know he can do, and then he's back into the starting lineup. Yesterday they were playing in the Cup semi-finals. He came on. He came on in the second half. He started the game rather, played the whole 90 minutes, completed the most dribbles in that game, created the most chances in that game, won the most duels in that game. And then what happened? Man of the match again. They are qualifying for the finals of the Dutch Cup. This is what you do as a footballer. This is what you do. You don't let outside noise affect you. You don't let disappointment affect you. You actually use those little things as inspiration. You use those little things as motivation to even get better and then to prove your point. Because you know your talent. You know you can do it. Like, just because they bench you does not mean you are a bad player. it means the coach has other options as well. So you have to fight it back, and that is what Yankuba Minteh did. So kudos to Yankuba Minteh. Not the most impressive week when it comes to goals, assists, and all whatnot, but the comeback that he had during the month, I think is too impressive to ignore him for the Player of the Month nominees. The next player that we nominated, number 2, is Musa Barrow. Similar to Yankuba Minteh, at the start of the month, he was not at the top form because he has gone on a run of 8 games without scoring or assisting. And then in the last 2 games, what he did, scored 2 goals and assisted 2 goals for his club. Scored more than, contributed more than 57% of the team's goals. So 57% of the goals that Al Tawun scored in February, Musa Barrow scored it or assisted it. More than 50%. So if a player is doing that in a team, in a month where they were unbeaten, they only played 3 games, by the way. That is very, very impressive. That's why Musa Barrow is nominated. 3 games played, 2 goals scored, and 2 assists made for Musa Barrow in the month of February. Next one is Zakaria Sawo. Zakaria Sawo, interesting one. I'm sure you, like, anytime I mention his name, I will say that. He's a Swedish born, of course. He has not represented the Gambia, unlike Yankuba Minteh and Musa Barrow. He's not yet played for the national team, but according to the reports, Food, and from the people that I talked to, they say he has expressed his will to represent the Gambia, and he is doing an exceptional stuff in Cyprus with his club, where he moved just last summer. In this month, in February, he played 5 games for the club, scored 5 goals, and created 1 assist, which includes a hat-trick and 1 assist. Second half hat-trick, actually. So it's always important to mention that, because he was on the bench, came on in the second half, scored 3 goals, and assisted the other goal. They won that game 4-0. So without him, I don't think that game they would have won. That's what he did. 5 games played, 6 goals involvement, which is very, very, very impressive. The most impressive thing about him is also similar to Yankuba Minteh. He was not always starting games. I think out of those 5 goals he scored, only 1 of them he came from a start. 4 of the goals he scored all came from the bench. So like I say, his head is always in the game. He's on the bench. He know his word. He know what he can do. He will come on, and then he will prove the coach wrong. You should not put me on the bench. And that is what he did in those games. And now he is starting for Aris, until he got that injury, which kind of, stagnated his progress or his form during the month. He missed two games in February, but finally he was back, and he played yesterday in their cup game, helped them progress to the semifinals of the cup. So Zakaria Sawa, this is why he is nominated for the JFB Player of the Month. And final one, CSCB. Another interesting name. CSCB has been in exceptional for the past 3 months, I would say. For the past 3 months, from November, December, January, and now you add February. He has been one of the best, or if not the best, Gambian goalkeeper out there. And in February, he was one of the best Gambian players. That's why he's nominated. He played 6 games for his club, Vargas Verona. They kept a couple of clean sheets. They did not concede more than 1 goal in any of those games. He made tons of saves. If you watch the highlights of the game, I don't know what the whole game, but the highlight, you can see the saves that he was making in those games. They were exceptional saves that he was making regularly in those games. And not just that, he saved 3 penalties in game. And in one game, he saved a couple of penalties. I hope you guys remember. I think you guys remember that one. He saved the penalty from the rebound. Somebody tried to score. They fouled that player. They win another penalty. He saved that penalty again. And then he followed that up with another game, saving another penalty. And he did not just stop at saving penalties, keeping clean sheets. He also created an assist in one of their games. They won that game 1-0. He kept the clean sheet in that one, created the assist, and then they won. So that is very, very impressive for a goalkeeper. He has been one of the best players for Gambia in that month. So that's why he is nominated. He is not just there because of his saves. He is there because of the form he is on, the contribution he is doing for Vargas. He's been Vargas' best player. By far, he has been exceptional. So those 4 are the nominees for February Player of the Month, guys. Let us know who you think is your Player of the Month. Is it Yanko Aminte? Is it Musa Baro? Is it Zakaria Sawa? Or is it CSCB? We will be putting the post on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube. The post will be there with the poll, so you can vote which player you think deserve this award. So yeah. After that, we will count your votes. Your votes will count at the end of the day, because this is JFB Player of the Month, and we do it with our audience, our fans, our followers. So please make sure you cast a vote and let us know who you think has been the best Gambian player in February. Guys, thank you. That was it. That was the Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month nominees. And if you enjoy what we do on the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, or if you appreciate what we do, please consider subscribing to the channel and give us a thumbs up, give us a like. Yeah, it was your boy Chama.